Welcome everyone. Warm welcome from Hosco. Welcome to this live webinar. Let's wait some time to allow participants to join. And in a couple of minutes, we'll start. Really exciting time for us, this time of the year, where usually we release the Hosco Talent Trend Report. This year, 2023, has been pretty interesting as well compared to the last ones. As you know, as our industry, we are coming from a pandemic, but then the new generation joining the industry, definitely Generation Z versus millennials and versus the new ones. It's a very interesting topic that also today we're gonna know a little bit more about. Of course, we're gonna share with you more insights, data about if talents are still leaving the industry, why they are joining, how to engage them, their benefits. I mean, all important topics that we truly believe that it's very important as individuals from this industry to share ideas and discuss in order to shape a better future for our industry. So, first of all, introduce myself. I'm Maurice Lorusso, Director of Industry Relations here. I'm with Raksha, our Research and Content Manager today. Raksha will present to you important stats and insights about the Hosco Talent Trend Report. Keep in mind that at any time, well, first of all, we're going to send the recorded video of the webinar also to the ones that couldn't make it, but they registered. But then also at any time, you can contact us, you can contact the Hosco team, and we will be able to share with you a link where you can fully download for free this Talent Trend Report 2023 if you're curious to get even more data than what will be shared today. Okay. Before that, 5 minutes, I will just share a bit of information about Hosco for the ones that don't know us, and also a bit of news, new feature that we have so far, and then I'll leave it to Raksha. I'll share my screen if Raksha allow me to. Just 1 second. Here we are. Okay. So for the ones that don't know Hosco, born in Switzerland 2011, initially has a network of top hospitality schools where companies could easily post jobs, vacancies, internship and graduate program to all these schools at once. Now it became the leading hospitality network tool on a global scale. So companies are joining Hosco to boost their employer brand and of course to source top hospitality talent. Our DNA didn't change. We are still very hospitality focused. Out of the 1.7 million talents that are registered on Hosco, they are made of course, professional already experienced talents at the moment, but also hospitality interested that would like to join our industry. Still very global since the beginning network. So we have more than 1,000 premium companies from big chains till individual properties, Michelin star, fine dining, cruises, and so on, recruiting both local and international talents, given the nature of our industry. And then, of course, schools is a very important part of our network. Since the beginning, where we started with 10 schools, now the network of schools became of more than 550 hospitality schools worldwide, which creates a very good and very nice ecosystem for companies to promote their brand and recruit talent. If you go deeper in understanding our database of professionals, how is it composed, definitely the vast majority are professionals, as you can see, more than 47% with more than 5 years of experience. However, given the nature of our cooperation with schools, we also have students and professionals. In terms of department, food and beverage, definitely the main one, both service and kitchen, followed by management, front desk, sales, and so on, all the other departments. And in terms of location, definitely Europe is the main market, followed by Middle East and others. In terms of schools, you can see how the geography of our school partners is composed. Definitely Europe, the main one, but also Asia, Africa, and Americas. Recently, this year, Hosco has been appointed as the main partners of the French government. So all the vocational schools of the French government will join Hosco. They're already joining. So for companies, will be able to promote your brand and recruit top talents from those schools in the next years to come. When we're talking about school solution, just as a reminder, here we can see some top brands using our Career Center solution. Basically, for you as a company, you will be able to promote all these vacancies with all of them and also promote your brand. And for schools, vice versa, of course, to invite all their students and alumni and access more than the 26,000 jobs available at the moment on Hosco. If we're talking in terms of services that we offer, definitely online recruitment is the main one. Companies will be able to have a profile on Hosco, promote jobs and research in our member directory, also promote their employer branding. And recently also a service that we call assisted search. There are companies that outsource all the recruitment requirement to Hosco, either for their new openings or simply for the ongoing annual solution or seasonal recruitment. What we do, basically, we manage their profile, we do campaigns, and then we pre-screen all the candidates, sending the final ones directly to those companies. If you're interested instead in early careers, definitely there is early career solution. And last but not least, our events. We can either organize recruitment events, days for private companies, or companies can join our own events. In terms of Hosco news, what changed recently, we have a very new improved member directory based on the request from our hospitality companies. They really wanted to have an experience where they were able to filter with specific hospitality filters. Now we have the possibility for companies to filter candidates based on Michelin star experience, upscale hotel experience, visa restrictions, or island experience. And last but not least, also to see all their applicants. And given the fact that Hosco is a network, these applicants will be updated with their curriculum updated for the years to come. Also, after the big success of Hospitality Connection recruitment events last year, there are going to be new ones in 2024. Next dates will be January 29th in Barcelona and February 19th in Milan, and more to come. Usually in these events, there are between 300 and 500 top hospitality talents attending. And also our Hosco Summit, after the edition last year, where we had more than 140 companies and schools represented. This B2B event will come back next year in September, in case companies and school would like to connect each other and promote their brand. With no further ado, if you're interested in getting to know more about Hosco, definitely you can go on employers.hosco.com and book your demo. Also, if you would like to download for free our Hosco Talent Trend Report that my colleague Raksha will present in a second, or you can also email me directly and then someone from our team will get in touch with you. Thank you very much. I'll leave it to you, Raksha.
Thank you, Morris, for the presentation, and welcome everyone. Give me a moment, please. I will share my screen as well. There we go. Welcome, and I'm really glad that you're joining us today. My name is Raksha Daranani, and I'm the Research and Content Manager at Hosco. I am really pleased to present this data to you. This is key industry data that we got from surveying talent all over the world, and it is our privilege to present it to you today. We do this research every year to make sure that we can bring you the latest technology that will help you recruit better, but also for empowering you with the right insights to improve your talent attraction and retention game. So let's look into the data. We surveyed 3,519 global respondents from 84 countries and locations. The leading respondent locations were France, Italy, Spain, and the UAE. And their employment status was 61% are employed, 21% are students, and 18% are unemployed. We asked them a lot of questions, and then we sorted these questions into relevant themes. The themes we identified were talent attraction and retention. So what do they want when they're applying for jobs? Which factors do they consider? What makes a job post more interesting? What makes a company more interesting? Then work-life balance and industry perception. Do they have work-life balance? Are they feeling burnt out? Has the industry improved compared to the past years? And then we looked at education and career prep. We asked them, what do they appreciate in their education? What has helped them get ahead? And what would they like to see improved? Then we asked them a really important piece, job application experience. What do they find frustrating? What do they find helpful? And what would you be able to do to improve that candidate experience? And then we looked at willingness to relocate. We know that a lot of companies have subsidiaries and branches abroad, and talent would love to relocate. So we asked them, what would help you make that decision and what holds you back? And last but not least, we looked at hospitality professional struggles. What do they struggle with in general? So let's get into that. So there were 4 things we asked them regarding talent attraction and retention. The top reasons for choosing a career in the hospitality industry. And then what are the reasons for staying in the hospitality industry? And then the main things that make them quit and factors that may encourage staff retention. This is what they told us. First of all, they chose international working environment for choosing a career in hospitality. So that's the main reason they joined the industry. Next is a passion for the profession. They want to work here because they love what they do. And the third one was customer-facing role, followed by relocation opportunities, job availability, and so forth. What's really interesting is that passion for the profession compared to the previous slide becomes the top reason once they are in the industry. If you look at the previous slide, it's at the second place for 15%. And here it becomes 17% and ranks first. So this is really interesting, which means they love what they do even more once they join. And then international working environment ranks second, 13%, and job availability at 12%. Now, I'm sure you want to know this as much as everyone else. Factors for quitting. Low pay is number 1 at 25%. And a lot of companies say, or they claim, that they pay better than the competitor. But is that really enough? Are we considering that this is emotional labor, that this industry has irregular working hours, and that people are struggling with work-life balance? So that is one reason we must consider competitive pay. And then look at poor work-life balance at 22%. That's another reason that people quit. So are we doing enough to address burnout? Are we doing enough to address the well-being of our employees? Evidently, there's much more to be done. And then long working hours. So these 3 factors are the main ones, followed by high stress, burnout, and poor industry reputation, and some more. So how do you engage staff? We asked them what would help them feel more engaged. And they said higher salary at 21%. Followed by professional development and better work-life balance. Now, higher salary is hard for many companies, especially if you're smaller, but we suggest looking at career development so that when you offer training, that becomes a path for them to develop and earn better. Okay, now let's look at work-life balance and industry satisfaction. The good news, 50% believes they have a good work-life balance. That's great, isn't it? But then if you look at the areas for improvement, 50% believes that burnouts are common in the sector, which means there's still a lot to do there. And another good thing is 50% feel that the industry has improved as a place to work post-pandemic. But then on the contrary, 21% believes that the industry has worsened as a place to work after the pandemic. And 29% believes that the industry has stayed the same. So if you compare these 2 columns, it just shows that it's a big division there, and there's still a lot to do. Education and career prep. What can be improved? So we asked them, what would you like differently in your curriculum? What would help you get ahead in your career? And they said, we want career guidance. Now, we understand that you don't always have career centers, depending on the size of your educational institute. So we would say, Maybe you can offer a monthly careers clinic or ask a guest lecturer to pop in once in a while and share what works best for improving a CV or how to get ahead through networking and so forth. And then speaking about networking, they wanted more networking opportunities at 16%. So that's one thing that we would say schools could provide more. EI education makes a lot of sense too, because this is an industry that requires emotional labor. And the more we know, the more agile we can be. Followed by mandatory internships. They feel these are valuable in giving them the experience to be successful in the industry. Now, we also asked them what helped them during their education. Well, they said professors from the field. So do more of that. They definitely want people who are working in the field to give them all the best practices and share with them the experiences that made them successful. Followed by internships. They said they want more internships, and they have appreciated the internships that have helped them get the skills that they need right now. Then we looked at hands-on projects. They said they want more hands-on projects at real companies to get a feel of what it's like to work before actually entering the workforce. And the last one was language classes. Okay, now let's look at job application experience. This one is important because the whole candidate experience determines how many people will end up working for you and how that will affect everything else. So we asked them, which benefits are important for you when considering a job? What are your priorities when choosing jobs over internships? And internships. And biggest frustrations when applying for jobs, and the biggest frustrations after job interviews. This is what they said. Most valued benefits, number one, career development opportunities. Secondly, health insurance. And thirdly, paid time off. So we suggest if you could highlight these in your branding efforts, in your vacancies, you would be definitely answering them and attracting more qualified candidates to your jobs. The final decision. What makes them choose one job over the other? Not surprising, salary 23%, followed by work-life balance 16%, and the work environment and internal growth opportunities, which are on par. So this makes your job easier if you're looking to hire. If you could highlight these factors in a job ad, then it will definitely help you attract the right candidates. Now, we asked them what frustrates you when applying to a job, and they said lack of transparency. They want to know what the salary is. They want to know what the working hours are. They want to know what your company culture is like. So be as transparent as possible. And then what frustrates them after the job interview? They said ghosting. So they want to hear from you whether they made it or not. And they also don't want to be caught up in several interviews. And also they would love to receive some feedback. So 1 out of 2 respondents think that up to 2 weeks is a reasonable time to hear back from a recruiter. If you can't make this, then make sure you're at least in touch with them at every step of the recruitment process. Otherwise, they lose interest. Okay, we spoke about willingness to relocate at the very beginning of this presentation. The good news is that 90% would consider moving abroad if the job offers higher salary, better quality of life, higher benefits, and company sponsorship. It's very important to consider these factors because a lot of companies don't take them into account when advertising jobs abroad. And the top countries and regions of interest are still Canada, France, Switzerland, the USA, Spain, and the UK. Now, last but not least, we asked them about their struggles and challenges in general. Again, low salary ranked highest, followed by inflation, or shall I say perpetuated by inflation, followed by long working hours, a lack of well-paid jobs, and lack of career progression. All this signals that the industry has improved, but there's still some struggles there that job seekers are facing. And the more mindful we are of them, the better we can provide for their needs. Now, let's look at some recommendations that we've formulated for you so that you can implement the data, the takeaways of this data for yourself and improve your talent attraction and retention scheme. So we'd say tailor your talent attraction and retention scheme to the job market. Consider offering competitive salary packages and stipends to interns. Highlight work-life balance, highlight growth programs, and try to offer a higher salary. Next, promote well-being and work-life balance. You should do this ideally across all your branding efforts. Are you offering well-being programs? Are you checking that people are actually taking time off? We would suggest doing this. Now, another thing is enhance employee satisfaction. From keeping an open door policy to engaging with leaders, another thing we suggest is conducting employee satisfaction or engagement surveys. When you know what's happening, when you know how employees feel, you can definitely take action. Actively market and simplify your overseas job opportunities. As we saw on the previous slides, people want to work abroad, but they want to do it for a better offer. If it's nothing in there for them, they won't do it. So bear that in mind when you advertise jobs abroad. Be very clear about what's in it for them and how you will help them, because visas and employer sponsorship are also big problems for talent willing to relocate. Make a DEI commitment and follow through. There's a lot of recruitment and hiring bias that still happens, which is sad because there's a lot of qualified talent there and they are being held back from joining the industry. So educate your managers on hiring bias, include return to work schemes. You can also offer subsidized daycare to working parents. It really helps a lot, and it encourages people to come back to work even though they're a parent, even though they don't have the ideal circumstances at home. Offer comprehensive curricula and career development programs. This is something that speaks for itself. You can bring guest lecturers in, industry experts, and the likes, and definitely show them that it can be done and improve the industry perception. This one goes for everybody in the industry. If we as an industry can show that it's a great place to work through our branding, through social media, which is where most of the generation hangs out, then we can definitely improve the candidate pool from its very beginning. Thank you so much for attending the presentation today. I hope you have gleaned some insights from this data. And if you would like to download it, the report is on our website. Please feel free, and thank you so much.